Speaker. Mr. Speaker, last month the Congressional Budget Office released a report that examined household income distribution between 1979 and 2007. The most disturbing figure to me in this report is that the top 1% of income earners have seen their average real after-tax household income grow by 275%. Middle-income Americans saw an increase of 40% over the same period of time. This report illuminates a sad fact. Income inequality in our country is growing at a staggering pace. The report is pointing out what many of my constituents tell me as I travel around my district, from Cumberland to Pawtucket to Newport, from community dinners and talking to small business owners. This economy is not working for the majority of middle-class families. In fact, the hardworking middle class of our country is being hollowed out. A middle class made up of people that are just trying to provide a good life for themselves and their families. My real fear is that if we let that happen, we'll never get it back. Those here in Washington need to remember that our job is to help people and to strengthen the middle class of this country. The way back to prosperity is not to ignore the problem. It's through investing in workforce retraining, infrastructure, housing, and education for tomorrow. We can't wait any longer. Now is the time to act. We need to work together in a bipartisan way to get our economy and our country moving again. I've introduced legislation, the Make It in America Block Grant, designed to help small to medium-sized manufacturers retool, retrofit their facilities, and train employees so they can sustain their current workforce, create jobs, and better compete in the 21st century economy. We need to develop new, efficient, and effective ways to fund much-needed investments in our nation's crumbling infrastructure, including legislation to create a national infrastructure bank which will attract private investment in vital infrastructure projects. American families will not feel or share in economic recovery until we stabilize our distressed housing market. We not only need to mitigate our foreclosure crisis, but undertake bold actions to prevent the next wave of foreclosures from occurring. Congress needs to pass critical housing legislation, like the Preserving Homes and Communities Act, introduced by Senator Jack Reed and Representative Elijah Cummings, which would improve home loan modification programs, including creating an appeals process for homeowners denied a loan modification, limit foreclosure-related fees, and respond to robo-signing misconduct by forcing mortgage servicers to prove they actually have the legal right to foreclose on a property. I believe that each and every American must be guaranteed access to affordable higher education, including vocational education, regardless of their economic status. We need to protect the funding of Pell Grants, named for my home state senator, the late Claiborne Pell, which are one of our nation's most significant college financial aid programs. We must also guarantee that our education system is preparing young people for career readiness, which I've worked on to ensure that we're offering more training options to young adults, moving them along on career pathways, and strengthening public-private partnerships so that business and government are working together to build and improve our workforce. I recommend to my colleagues that they all read this report if they haven't already. I also ask that they join me in renewing our commitment to keep fighting for middle-class families as we work to help our country every day here in the Congress of the United States. It's time to get America back to work and to strengthen and support the hardworking middle class of this country, the hardworking middle class that built this country. Thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.